Hello everyone, welcome to day 3 of the team's national championship for the women's division. My name is Alexis Kerman, and today I've got Scott Hayden with me for commentary. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Super excited to have Hyzer bring you the post-production for round 3. So this is the leaderboard after round 2 singles scores. And we have Mizzou moved up to tied first with Brigham Young University. And in third place, we have Liberty. This is their A team here. So today we're playing boulders, and it's a much longer course, right, Scott? We've got hole 1 here at 333 feet. It's downhill, and we're just trying to air something out. There's a hazard bunker on the right side.
Yeah, a lot more distance on this course, a lot of elevation change. Definitely a much different course than River Run.
So Renae Beasley is up for us. Mizzou here on hole 1. She's throwing a champion roadrunner. Oh, and she just misses that hazard. What a great shot by Renae there, starting Mizzou off strong here on the tee of 1.
You can see it by the way everybody is dressed. I mean, it has just been pouring rain this entire time, and
it was miserable.
You absolutely parked this one off the tee. Great shot.
Thank you. That feels good, especially not being able to get a warm-up, really. Here's Hannah. She is with BYU and airs one right out there into the middle of the fairway. Perfect shot, Hannah. Next up, we have Tailey Rowley. And she actually won the D1 Women's Single Championship title. That was super exciting to watch.
My name is Dimartino.
My name is Maggie Presley.
And we're from Liberty. If there's anything we love, it's rain. Rain is a great score separator. Mentally, it's great for separating the field, really showing like who's ready to take this thing down no matter what's going on. I'm excited for a few puddles to jump in here and there and you know, take the little joyful moments where we can get them, for sure. Pretty much everything on the right side she's got, everything on the left side I've got. And we've got those touchy little approach shots in between. And if you're hitting your lines, you're in the fairway, easy up and down for par. But hopefully we'll be getting the birdies. I mean, come on.
It's always just keep the nerves under control and play your game. Don't try to do something that you've never done before just because you're at nationals.
We're just trying to see how well we can play. So this is a nice challenge. We got a little puzzle out there. We just got to put the pieces together. We have a ton of girls this year, which I love, but we're spread out all over the country. So to have everyone here, seeing everyone, it's a delight. And just being able to compete against them in a way where like we're being challenged, like they're pushing us to play our absolute best rounds. It's exciting and it's making us better players every single day we're here.
Rounding out our 140 tee time from Liberty University, Dimartino and Maggie Presley.
And now we have Dimartino with Liberty.
Throwing a big Hyzer out there.
And she's right there in the middle of the fairway. Great shot. Next up is Liberty second player Maggie Presley. Bombs on this forehand. stays out of the bunker that you can see right there. Little short. See if Julia can get a little closer. But they've got a putt from there.
Yeah, circle 1, I'd say. Julia looking to give this a run or get a little bit closer. There's a little bit of OB just behind the basket, not too far.
And she gives it a good little run there, and she does stay safe.
Tailey going to be up first for BYU. She is dangerous from this distance, hitting a lot of these. But she puts a nice shot just inside the bullseye for BYU.
Like you were saying, conditions were so rough. Right before we teed off on hole 1, it had been torrential downpouring. So we got a little lucky. The rain lined up just a little bit, but there was definitely a constant drizzle, even here on the first tee.
Maggie up now for Liberty.
Great putt. Let's go. That's a great 3. A good par to have right off a hole 1.
BYU just cleaning up this par. Renae gonna tap in this birdie.
Let's go. Nice job, Renae. That feels so good to get the birdie from Mizzou. Off to a hot start. Here we are, hole 2. It's 546 feet. There's OB along the right side. It's a creek painted with a white line. You're just trying to play safe to the left. There's no OB on that left side. And just pitch up. It's a par 4, so you have some room to just air some drives out there. The discs are slick. This tee pad is slick. But we're trying to do the best we can to stay dry. Renae stables up and makes a great shot. Nice job. That ensures the safety of Mizzou being in the fairway. So I'm trying to go a little more aggressive here. We'll see if I can get it done. Just to get some more distance. And I aired out a little wide, and it does not get inbounds. But that's okay. I know my partner's safe. And kind of what we talked about in that round 1 team doubles post coverage. It is so nice to have a partner to save you, someone you can rely on.
Hannah putting a nice shot out there into the fairway. It's going to allow Tailey to, do that same kind of aggressive play that you were going for.
Definitely. And you could see from that camera angle down the fairway that rain coming down.
She just pulls this one a little bit.
Lands OB. And that creek was running.
Yeah, it was way up. Discs going in there were not coming back.
Julia with a big drive. Man, she really crushes this. Oh, but it doesn't get inbounds. It just Hyzer's too early and drops. So now it's up to Maggie to have a safe inbounds play. And something about Maggie, I don't know if you noticed, but she is predominantly forehand.
Yeah, really relying on that forehand. You've seen it twice now. She's throwing a heat off the tee on a forehand. Perfect little flip up, just getting out to the fairway. Nice and safe.
She throws another forehand here. And it skips OB.
Just barely trickling OB there.
Julia just throwing a big hyzer to that open space like I talked about. You just want to be safe on this one, especially because it is a par 4. So you have some strokes to play with here. Yep, great shot by Tailey. That should put them in a great position to get up and down for a par. See if Hannah can get some more distance here. And she turns that over, and it definitely doesn't come back. Hits that creek water. We've got Mizzou up next. And you can kind of see, so we all have some caddies, and I slip. We're trying to stay dry, but I still get it out there and it stays safe. But we've got these umbrellas. We have about 3 umbrellas almost for every person out there between their caddies and support people that are there watching. It is wet.
Everybody's loaded up with towels, just trying to keep things dry. It's consistently raining the entire round. I mean, just really coming down.
And Renae has a good drive as well on that second shot. So BYU's trying to get close to the basket here. Maggie's throwing a zone, a little too Hyzer, and it skips and gets such an unfortunate roll OB.
Yeah, that OB there is close behind the basket, maybe only 15, 20 feet, so that little roll just putting her over the edge.
But Julia stays safe, so that was a really good team play right there. They were able to rely on each other. It felt so nice to be back playing team doubles after our singles round yesterday. I was just wishing Renae was with me the whole time.
It's really fun to watch the team dynamic between everybody. I mean, every team plays differently in terms of the way, aggressive, safe kind of plays. But it's really fun to watch the differences in players.
Yeah, just like that, Renae had thrown her NB and it was a little short. And I knew we wanted to be a little closer, especially with this weather. So I was able to put it up even closer. Hannah has a great pitch up for their par putt. And Tailey loves this forehand with her buttons. It's her zone. Okay.
Yeah, little flex zone shot just puts it up there nice and close, making it easy for them.
And just like Mizzou, she's able to get hers closer than her partners, making it easy. See if Liberty can get this par putt. Oh, great bid by Maggie. It is so tough to be having to putt here in this weather. So you really want tap-ins. So this is a challenging, even though it doesn't look far, it feels far. With slick hands, cold hands.
Oh, just off the cage for Julia there.
You can see Renae and I, we had this thing going. Because it was raining, we were holding the umbrella for each other up until we were ready to throw or make our putts, just to stay as dry as possible. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Nice par putt from Renae there. Good assist with the umbrella from you.
Do what I can out on the course.
I think this is what they imagined when they thought of team play for college nationals.
Here we are at the International Disc Golf Center. The course is just shining for the competitors.
This place means a lot. It's the type of course that where as soon as you think you have it figured out, it shows its teeth.
At a major tournament, there's a different kind of feeling. make your career go to the next step, you need to win a major.
We show where we came from and hopefully show where we're going with events like this weekend.
All right, here we are, hole 3. It's 379 feet. This is a long gap. You're trying to just make this gap get out to the open so you can either pitch up for a birdie or pitch up and get some distance to make this an easy par. How long would you say that gap is?
I would say it has to be at least 250 feet down the gap. Pretty tight tunnel. Renae just hyzering out a little early there. It's relatively open on that side, so you can definitely get up and down from over there.
But it's not where you want to be. I'm gonna throw my lightweight haze, throw a flip up, and I lace the gap. It felt really good. Gets out into the fairway. That's a great spot for any team to be in there. Hannah trying to lace this gap, and she turns it over early through that right side, but gets out the gap.
Out clean. Out in the open. It's a good spot to be. Tailey can definitely get aggressive here now.
Oh.
Hyzer's out early, but rolls just to the edge or out into the fairway, it looks like.
So favorable tree kick from her. Julia throws a beautiful hyzer, but it gets an early fade and stays in that left side brushy area, which all you can really do from there is pitch out. You can't really get too much progress to the pin.
Birdie's probably out of the question from over there. Definitely just looking to get up and down for par.
Maggie with her heat forehand.
A good kick out into the open side, though.
Yeah, you see they got all the way out to this right side. So that's a good shot for them. Boom. Really good progress by Maggie. See if Julia can get up closer. Huge hyzer. She gets to the bottom of that hill, so they have a good run at it for a birdie, potentially. There we are with our umbrella partnership there.
Great support on every team's part. I mean, Liberty had a host of people out there in caddies, holding umbrellas, keeping things dry. Same thing for BYU. I mean, it's really great to see.
We've kind of talked about this in the other coverages, but it is amazing. It's super fun to have a really great team atmosphere, not just between team members, but those supporting team members. Family was out there. I know parents were out there, brothers, sisters. It's awesome, and it really gets you hyped up.
Oh, yeah.
Hannah definitely juiced that a little much, and it kind of stood up and rolled pretty far, so Tailey's needing to get this a little closer.
Just going back to that forehand flex shot, puts it nice and close. Gonna be a good birdie look there.
Ooh, right by the pin.
Nice run from Maggie. I mean, he keeps it close. It definitely gives Julia the green light to go for it here.
Good little run there. So, hole 4, being a par 4, played as one, or sorry, we're on hole 3. Hole 3 being a par 4 for the women, played as one of the easiest holes on the course at 0.2 strokes under par.
And I think this played as a par 3 for you all last year.
It did. So they changed the pars. That was really nice to see out here on Boulder, especially being a much longer course than River Run.
Does it change your mentality on how you approach the hole, how you attack the hole?
I think we felt more confident going into this year knowing we could score on this course.
Great putts from you and BYU, just cleaning up those birdies, having a really good start to you all's round.
Yeah, so at this point, Mizzou's gained a stroke on BYU, but we have a lot of disc golf left, and this is a long course, so anything can happen on these holes. Here we've got hole 4, 276 feet, downhill, OB Creek on this right side here, and this basket is just perched, of course, by the creek. There is an OB left if you get too high and Hyzer over the path. So I'm throwing an undertaker, trying to throw it low and jamming at the rocks right by the basket, but I go a little too high and inside. But I'm safe. And this is a sidewinder by Renae. She early released it, but she's in bounds there. She's further from the pin than I am. So we'll see what we do when we get up there. Hannah Hunter. Puts up a Hyzer. And she lands safe by those rocks. Tailey's hitting kind of that same line Hannah does.
It's a tree, but I believe it falls in bounds.
Just sits right there.
Yeah.
Julia throws it low.
Safe on that drive as well.
So this has to be a difficult shot for Maggie. I mean, being forehand predominant, that thing has to flip over. And it is. And look at this crush. Oh my gosh, that was an amazing shot by Maggie.
Great shot. She's pin high. I mean, a lot of trust in that disc, making sure it doesn't Hyzer back to the water. But great shot from Maggie. Long run from Hannah here. Gives it a good bid in circle 1.
So Hannah's drive was up by those rocks, and I think they elected to take Tailey's drive because they weren't putting directly at the water. So that is some team strategy right there.
Yeah, it definitely lets them both give it a run. Tailey putting it right by the basket. Gonna be a nice par for them.
Mizzou's up next. We're here on these rocks. Renae skips off the top of the rocks and gets close. I'm going to try and give it a little run here. Some awkward footing on the slope. Keep it high, but too right. But we've got an easy par right there for us. Liberty's close.
Stays in bounds.
Stay safe. That's all you want. This gives Julia the go-ahead to still run this putt. And she trickles OB here, sliding into the edge of the water. Hole 4 only had one birdie on the day by Southern Arkansas's Emma Gill and Whitney Brown. So congrats to you all. That's a great birdie to get.
Yeah, especially in these conditions. I mean, that's a good shot to get down there.
Yep, great par putt. All right, so we're all walking away with pars here on hole 4. We have really good energy despite this weather, I would say, on the card. I think we were all talking about it. We were all worried about the rain, but it felt good to be out there. We all had a great time nonetheless. This is hole 5, 261 feet. You're just trying to get over this rock area. It's kind of like a mini mound wall. Hyzer's the play, I think, on this. Renae has a great Hyzer. She lands a little short, though, by that tree, but I know she's safe. So I'm still going to try and get closer.
Circle 2 look from Renae definitely allows you to have the green light here to go for it.
And I'm throwing my crate. I threw it lower than I intended, and I could not see what it did over this hill. So I'm glad to see that it skipped and got really close.
Great ground play there. Puts you probably 10, 12 feet, something like that.
Yep. Hannah Hyzering this, and she hits short, so she's, I think, right after that first mound, which is not a bad spot to be. Julia ripping a great Hyzer. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful shot by Julia.
Just parks it. Great Hyzer. Really committing to that line.
Maggie with her forehand, I'm sure, with this heat. Boom. And she's just short, but doesn't even matter. Liberty's got that tap in. So cool to see. Something we've seen this whole tournament so far is how much these women crush. A lot of these players are newer to disc golf, but they've been putting the time and energy for college nationals so that they can come here and show up and show off. Like, it's been amazing to watch. I am so impressed, especially last year, seeing the field double from 32 women to 58 women this year. So exciting to see.
We just saw a great run from Hannah there from, probably even outside of circle 2. She hits the cage. Great looking run.
BYU is all over the medal for sure.
Renae just chains out right side here for you all's birdie putt. But team golf, you've got another opportunity at it.
And she was saying, like we've mentioned, it's raining all day, so her disc was slick and she just didn't take the time to dry it off. But that's fine. I get the birdie, so we walk away unscathed here.
Yeah, I know you all were talking about it before the round, really making sure to take your time on all your shots, making sure everything was dry, basically not feeling rushed.
Yes. Patience.
Nice tap in birdie here for Liberty. And BYU going to take their par.
So we're playing steady. The leaders are playing steady, keeping up with each other here, going into hole 6. That's 402 feet. This is a par 4. There's OB on the left side of the path, and there's a painted line that's pretty close to that path, all the way up until about this point, and then the OB creek will come into play as you enter that green. So you can either go wide Hyzer shot to the right of this tree, or get a little more aggressive and flex something to the left of that tree. Renae opts for that Hyzer just to get us out and safe.
You all had talked about it before you got up to the tee shot about, Renae putting one out safe so you could really go for an aggressive line here.
And I do. I turn over a Hades, and I get a little more distance than Renae. Not too much more, though.
Nice shots out into the fairway. Just playing it as a 4.
Maggie stays safe, but that's not the shot she wanted. She clips that tree with a nose-up angle there, but at least they're inbound, so Julian has that in her mind. So she's still looking like she's going to go this left side, more aggressive flex shot drive.
Yeah, looking like she's trying to line up a bit of a force-over shot here.
And she does. It's a little high. And oh my gosh, it hits that path and it skips OB.
Just barely trickles OB. It was a nice looking line, just the ground and the path making it play fast there.
And Tailey goes that big wide Hyzer gap like Renae did, and she gets great distance. So now Hannah's also going to go, I believe, that left side gap. See, she's taking her time. It's wet. When it's raining, you just play a little slower. Everyone's playing a little slower. We just want grip. We don't want to, grip to be the issue here. So glad to see she is taking her time. And that's just too high and too Hyzer. That goes OB. But Tailey's safe. Everyone on the team has someone safe. This is a tricky upshot, wouldn't you say?
You know that OB is close behind it. You know the path plays fast, so it's definitely something where you're thinking about getting it close, but you don't want to skip down into the water, especially if it's a disc you really like. And the water is up today, so you know if it goes in, it's probably gone.
Yeah. So they both lay up. Hannah has a great drive. She gets a little closer than Tailey does, gives them a putt. Yeah, you see that water behind the basket. It's scary. Renee's gonna try and get close with an NV. I told her to throw at the catch cam.
Nice shot from her. Not a lot of ground play. It's just really wet at this point. So it just slides out there outside circle 1.
And I disc up to a Comet to try and Hyzer a little more, and I just yank it to the right here. I got too scared of that OB, and I shouldn't have been, but I would.
Liberty's elected to take Julia's drive, even though it went OB.
Just because they're closer to the pin than Maggie's forehand.
They know it's a 4, they feel confident in their ability to get up and down, and Maggie puts a great shot just outside, probably 10 feet right there. Julia's disc just barely trickling into the water there.
But it doesn't matter because Maggie's right there. Giving this a bid, give it the height, too much juice, and that is lost forever.
Loved the aggressive play, really going for it, trusting your partner here on the second shot, knowing she's going to be able to keep you all safe.
This happened on the second hole where that river was, even wider and deeper than this hole. A couple of us lost our discs on that hole, and now a couple of us have lost discs on this hole as well. So something we don't factor in, or probably didn't factor in going into this round, that was only my second rubber blend putter I had. So I only had one putter at this point.
Chain out right side for Tailey there, but she's inbounds, safe. That lets Hannah really go for this.
And she goes OB into the water there. Everybody's just trying to clean up a par now. Yep, great putt by Tailey. Hannah's looking for her disc behind there, seeing if she can see it, but I think the water took it away. Clean up a par for Mizzou there. The other thing too around the greens and just walking around, you're trying not to slip. I've already slipped one time, and it's just muddy and slick, and there's rocks that are slick, and so everyone's moving a little slower just so we're not injuring ourselves out on this course.
Yeah, they're around the rocks where there's not much grass. There's definitely, some slick mud. Everybody taking their time, really trying to be careful. Hole 7 here, it's actually a par 4 for the women, 506 feet.
You're trying to get over that initial wide gap up into some flat area so that you can chuck another disc, potentially for a birdie, or land in the big open area past that drop zone that's up on the hill. I just tell Renae, try to get up to that flat area if you can, and she airs a beautiful drive with her wave. She is behind that rock and on quite a bit of a slanted slope there.
Yeah, great rip from Renae. It really lets you go for it because she's safe and she's way up the fairway at this point.
And I'm trying to just get even further to a little more flat ground, and I do get further, but there's still a weird slope. It's a hard landing zone because you don't want to be short because then you can't see over that hill. But you don't want to try too hard and yank it to the OB area on this right or left side of this path and bridge that we go over. This was funny because there was this weird air bubble pocket on this tee pad.
Yeah, Julia noticing that the tee pad not really flat to the ground.
And I think that kind of messed her up, honestly.
Yeah.
It was an unfortunate yank.
Kind of pulls one there.
Maggie going to her heat forehand. See if she can stay in bounds because she knows Julia is out of bounds. And it's kind of hard when you play team doubles. It's this dynamic where, you have full trust in your teammate, but when you watch them make a mistake, you now have the pressure as the second person on the team to not make a mistake, to stay in bounds or make a better shot for your team. So although it's this weird aspect of there's less pressure, there also can be a lot more pressure.
Yeah, it can definitely ratchet it up if you, watch your partner go OB or hit first available.
But Maggie did stay in bounds there, so that was good. That was good for Liberty.
Hannah just goes OB on her drive.
Tailey, it looked low, but it had so much power, and she just skips up and is safe. So that's a great spot to be for BYU. So this is where Maggie's drive landed.
Just short of this bridge.
And that drop zone there is actually for the MA1 field, or the D2 and D3 field. They play a tee pad that's a little further back than us. Our drop zone's up on top of that hill, but none of us are having to go there, which is great. So we're all happy that we've gotten off the tee safely. Nice Hyzer shot by Maggie. And she's just before that hill, but made a lot of good progress. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. There's this slope where the landing zone is, and it makes it really hard to have a run up. And so a lot of times you throw two nose up and don't get the distance you really want to try and get a birdie on this hole.
Hannah gets that one a little turned over. Cup rolls top by the tree in the fairway. Tailey getting one really high, also about out there towards the tree. Yeah, definitely hard to throw that sort of second shot if you're not up on top of the hill, having to run up that hill.
Renae's throwing, and Champ Mamba, she airs it out there. That's still a good spot to be because progress is progress, we always love progress here. And I elect to stand still. I'm going to throw a thrasher. You can see that it's little slick, especially on this slope, so my back foot was sliding. And I have a great shot. Just air it out straight, make a lot of progress straight towards the pin.
Yeah, nice shot from you going to that standstill, recognizing that the footing is tough there.
So here's Liberty. They're trying to get up and down with their third shot to get a par.
Julia just ending up on the left side of those rocks. It's going to be a little pinched off there.
And Maggie lands on the open side of these rocks, giving them a look at an open par putt. This is a run by Hannah. And that's a hard run. I mean, they're still really far away from the pin. I don't know. Would you say, like, circle 3 land?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't think this is circle 2. I think they have to be over 100 feet out. I mean, Tailey going to the forehand flex shot here.
Oh, and she hits those rocks. And that's something about this green you don't, you need to factor in. You hit a rock and you might get a bad roll like that when you're just trying to pitch up. But I think Tailey was trying to run that, so she was going full force. She knew Hannah was there.
Yeah, they're trusting their putting ability.
Oh.
Ooh, great run from Renae there.
We stick right in the rocks, which is a best case scenario because that's an easy tap-in for us. We're talking here.
Yeah, definite green light for you at this point. You know Renee's right there behind the basket.
And I throw too low and basically land where Renae is.
Liberty actually ends up electing to take Julia's shot to the basket.
It was closer than Maggie's, so it made sense. And more like, you know, even downhill putt to the pin.
Ooh.
Hitch chains, rolls out, but that's not a bad roll. They're still right there.
Yeah, Maggie having to just putt over those rocks there.
It was really fun to watch Liberty play because they have really great team chemistry. Maggie and
Julia, I mean, just really
great fart. Maggie and Julia have really great chemistry together. They're always rooting each other on when they're up at the tee or making a shot. One of them will go, "Yeah, go Julia," or "Go Mags." Like they're in it for each other, and I love that. Love seeing it. Good height. And she sticks closer than Maggie, so that should be an easy bogey save for them. And then here's BYU to make their par putt. A little tricky. It's uphill. Yep, just a little low.
just sticks there behind the basket though, so no worries from Anna here on running this one.
It's hard because these rocks are in your head. You know if you hit them wrong, you can roll away and then potentially take a bogey or worse.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it on Maggie's putt. She chained out and, rolled to a pretty unfortunate position.
But Hannah said, no problem, I got the par for y'all. And then Mizzou's also going to get a par. There was only one birdie on the day. Congrats to Alabama's Autumn and Hope.
Yeah, that's a really good birdie to get.
Great mash. Got the umbrella. Trying to stay dry here. I think at this point, everyone's just soaked. The feet are in lakes. We are walking around with swamp shoes, but we're still making it a good time, having a good time.
Last season we had around 30 qualifying events. This year we've grown to more than 70 regionals and conference events for this season. That has led to more than 88 schools in attendance and 700 competitors. The energy you see from the players and the passion that they have when they're representing their favorite school or their university is incredible. It really makes this event special. You don't see that anywhere else in the disc golf world.
All right, we have hole 8. It's 303 feet downhill through a double Mando tree line. And all you're trying to do is get, 1, make the Mando, 2, make some progress so you can make this an easy pitch up to an elevated basket. And I'm going forehand. I turn it over where the people are. So that's not ideal. This is a really hard gap to hit. It looks like there's a big gap and openings, but there's so many branches and small twigs and limbs that you can hit. It's honestly a really difficult hole. Last year there wasn't a double Mando. We were able to go right of the trees and throw huge Hyzers. As you see, Renae just clips one of the big trees that's guarding this opening to the landing zone. So Mizzou's gonna have some making up to do here. BYU, Hannah turns it over. You see she did clip those tree branches, but she had enough power to get through. So they're in a great spot, a good landing zone.
Yeah, good shot from Hannah, just out the gap.
Tailey also clips a tree branch, but has so much power she gets through as well. Kind of goes right some on her backhand, but gets projected out into that nice open area.
Yeah, great drive from her. I mean, they're going to have a long look from there.
And Julia hits this gap. Wow, she gets all the way pin high down there. A little left, but still a great shot.
Yeah, great drive from her, really committing to that center gap.
And I think Maggie might have clipped a tree and still gone way right. So she also got some tree love. Mizzou getting none of that tree love.
Yeah, both Liberty players, I mean, pin high off the tee, really good drives.
So as you can see, this is a tricky gap. I'm trying to throw a little flex forehand and get as much progress as I can to give us a putt. Throwing this buzz, and I make good progress. I'd love to be closer. We'd love to be closer, but it is what it is.
The rain's kind of let up at this point. People have put the umbrellas down. Rain jackets are coming off. Tailey giving us a long run. Ooh.
She's got those great bids. Hannah giving it a run, but a little left. But they're both right there for an easy par. So Liberty went pin high on both of their drives, but you can see it's tricky once you do get too deep into past the pin. Just not really an open shot for a good putt.
Yeah, they're having to putt around this one tree here, go for this kind of big Hyzer line around it. No real direct line to the basket.
But some good bids. Oh my goodness, that was great.
Long putt from Mizzou now, trying to save par.
We're putting around this tree, so we have to straddle out and miss this one tree in front of us. Definitely not the position Mizzou wants to be in. But here we are. I'm electing for the Annie putt. And I thought this was in, but it didn't have enough turn on it.
Good looking run. I mean, you know Renae's close there, so you're really giving it a full committed bid.
Trying to, but then I miss it.
Little chain out from you there. You've got a partner, so no worries.
No, I know she's got it. Why do I need to make putts?
Yeah, a lot of elevated baskets out here at North Cove. Boulder and River run a number of elevated baskets, so definitely not something I would say you see a lot of your local courses. Renae putting in that bogey putt.
Saves us there.
No issues.
And then Liberty and BYU here for their pars.
Nice par from Liberty there. And Hannah gonna drop in there BYU's par putt.
So some leadership change here, leaderboard change a little bit. Going into hole 9, it's 378 feet. It's a par 4, and there's not any OB. You're trying to get a big drive off the tee and then potentially an upshot up into those really tricky rocks.
9's up on a really big mound. Again, it's been raining a ton at this point. You know it's muddy up there. The rocks are all slick, but a great drive from Hannah here. Putting a nice flex shot out into the fairway.
Yeah, you don't want to get too pinched off to that left side because it makes that angle into the green really hard. Tailey gets a lot of progress, though. She throws that really far.
She is on that path there on the left side, so maybe a little pinched off. Just kind of caught a limb early. Maybe didn't get as much turn on the disc as she wanted to.
Haley, just a yank. I know Julia was trying to go big and get way out there. So she just hits that first tree. But she's got Maggie.
It's a good setup shot for Maggie here. I mean, being predominantly forehand. Can just throw it out to the left here, let it work its way back.
Look at that Hyzer flip, though.
Just a beautiful forehand.
Mash. Great shot, Maggie. They are pumped about that. Julia's like, thank goodness.
Yeah, Liberty, great energy. I mean, throughout the whole day. I mean, they're smiling, having a good time.
Renae's got her champion road runner. And then Hyzer's off 2 left. That's similar we talked about. We know we don't want to be there. So I'm going to try and turn something over a little more just to be out in that open area. It was really nice that the rain gave us a little break here for a couple holes.
Yeah, this is about the 4 hour mark in the round. So definitely a long round to this point. Nice to have a break from the rain there for a minute.
Yeah, we're only not even through 9 holes, and it's been about 3 hours, maybe 4. It was rough. But we were staying in it. We were kept going. So you can see here, there is that backdoor forehand route. And I do like that route to get up to the green because you can kind of hang it wide and just let it hyzer into those rock areas. But it is a really tricky shot, especially because it's super uphill there.
Yeah, nice to get up on the high side of the basket. But it's definitely a tight line going that way. Julia just there on the edge of that tree. On that slope. Gonna be some tough footing there.
So you know BYU's, they're taking the backhand hyzer gap and they're trying to get up on the hill. Early release from Hannah, but it kind of rolls down to a really good spot here.
Pretty good favorable roll. I mean, it's going to be a really big uphill putt from there, but definitely open.
Yeah, you like that. Open, uphill, you can give it a good run.
And Tailey going to go to this forehand flex shot. Also gets a good roll as well.
Nature loves BYU, I think. Renae's trying to go that Hyzer shot. Again, it's so uphill. It is so hard to give it the juice because you're scared of rolling and hitting those rocks wrong. So you kind of end up undercommitting to this. And I'm electing to go standstill. I'm throwing a buzz. I know I can get up there. But I short it. Again, you see how much higher you have to throw. I should have probably just done a run up, but it is what it is. We're here. We're going to try and pitch up as close as we can.
Renae doing a little Hyzer putt there.
She rolls away.
Yeah,
oh,
I roll for her.
Oh. That's okay. I told her I'll just, put it close. And I do, just right there. Still a pretty nervy putt, though, up on that hill.
Yeah, the hill's really muddy. The footing is tough, and then it all falls away behind it. Maggie just putting one right there next to the basket.
And that was kind of scary because she elected to throw a forehand at the basket, but it stuck perfectly on that rock.
And Julia taking her time, making sure she has good footing here.
Yeah, this slope was super muddy and slick, so we were all telling each other to be careful when we were walking up and down the hill. And she rolls away really badly, but again, Maggie had a perfect layup on that rock. Hannah lays up and sits. Gives Tailey the green light to try and make this putt. This is super uphill. And Tailey has this really lofty push putt, so this is kind of a good angle for her. Oh my gosh. Let's go, Tailey.
Just an amazing putt from Tailey there. Huge uphill putt, just cans it.
That was awesome. Great birdie by BYU. Don't fall, Tailey. Not worth it. Great job. She gets Hannah's putter. Yep. Great par. So we're here through the front nine now. It's been, what were we saying, 3+ hours at this point. We were moving really slow. The card as a whole was playing fast. There was just backups on a lot of the holes here. I think, like we were saying, in wet conditions, torrential downpours, teams were playing slower. It was harder probably to make as much progress as you wanted to down the fairways, so more shots were taken than maybe if we had drier, more fair conditions.
Yeah, Boulder's already a longer course. Definitely gonna play slower with all this rain.
So at this point, Mizzou and BYU are all tied up, and Liberty is a couple strokes behind us still, going into the back nine of this long course. And it doesn't get easier. We just get, harder, longer holes, so. But it's a fun course. We're keeping our attitudes up, keeping the vibes up. Thanks for watching our front nine coverage. Make sure to tune in for the back nine coverage here on Boulders for day 3 of the Women's D1 National Championship teams.